Dahmer's Delights will not be seen tonight, so we can bring you the following special presentation. Sponsored by Starbucks, when you have latte on your mind. And Thumpy Buns, the musical, directed by Jorge Cajones and starring Richard Swells. In theaters this Friday.
With mature content. If you're of a sensitive nature, it's highly suggested you choose a different title selection in this playlist.
Uncle Charlie's Storytime will not be seen tonight, so we may bring you this special program. You can catch Uncle Charlie's Storytime next week at its regularly scheduled time.
This is TNN, the Network News. Oh, well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the Brower Hour. I'm your host, William Brower. Today, I would like to go ahead and welcome and give a little shout out to a fellow industry colleague and friend who happens to be going onwards and upwards, shall we say. So, this is a woman who has risen from the undead ranks all the way through to vampiric lore and even on to, social media without a doubt. So I'm referring none other to my good friend, Miss Jackie Chen. And what better way, of course, as well, too, than to go ahead and take advantage with us being a zero budget talk show like we are. We went ahead and have submitted burner phones to random guests to go ahead and kind of share some of their experiences working alongside Miss Chin over the years. Some have familiar names, others will be quite a fun surprise. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and see exactly where the road will take us from here. My first guest has requested to be wishing to remain anonymous, and so, therefore, for the sake of security purposes, we shall be referring to her as Mrs. Esterhaus. So, Mrs. Esterhaus, welcome to the show.
I'm used to being a hostess. It's part of my husband's work, and it's always difficult when a group of new friends meet together for the first time to get acquainted. So I'm perfectly prepared to start the ball rolling. I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here, or what I'm doing here, or what this place is about, but I am determined to enjoy myself, and I'm very intrigued.
Okie dokie. Well, I guess sometimes it's best to be openly honest like that, and even if we are never really sure exactly what it is we're doing here in the first place. So, moving along to our next guest, she definitely does not need any introduction, but she's an Academy Award winning actress. But years before, Kathy Bates was lucky enough to actually sit in on one of the productions of Zombie Palooza Radio, ZPR, way back when, back in the good old days. So, Miss Bates, tell me, what was one of your biggest experiences looking at it from a behind the scenes perspective?
Watching him, and I had a little crush on the operator, Todd Henry, and it was a wonderful group of people, and I learned a lot.
Well, that's certainly quite fascinating to say the least. Hmm. Well, let me go ahead and bring on our next guest and see if it gets even more interesting. Also, likewise, another behind the scenes perspective, Miss Ashley Lawrence, Kirsty of Hellraiser, one of my personal favorite films. Miss Lawrence, what was it like for yourself working alongside Miss Chin?
Plane flight and culture shock and excitement of auditioning for something, I had no idea what I was stepping on board to do.
Wow, so I thought you were more a guest than anything else. I didn't realize you were actually auditioning. Even more impressive. You know, shame it didn't work out, but I'm glad to see that things did work out for you in the long run there. So now I'd like to go ahead and take the opportunity and also welcome two of our show sponsors. So what better way of saying thank you for making this possible for us than to go ahead and do a quick little interview, starting with, of course, the infamous Mr. Richard Swells for the upcoming film Sumping Buns. It's going to be out in theaters this Friday. Should be very interesting to say the least. So, Mr. Swells, tell me, what was it like when you first crossed paths with Miss Chen?
Her hair was the color of gold in old paintings. She had a full set of curves, and the kind of legs you'd like to suck on for a day. She was giving me a look I could feel in my hip pocket.
I, yeah, we're a family friendly broadcast, so we had to accidentally unplug that interview there. Apologies to the audience and such there. So let's go ahead and let's bring on Senor Jorge Cajones, director of Thumping Buns. Mr. Cajones, Mr. Cajones, yes, we are live, sir. This is a live broadcast.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking. It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. It's like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Well, obviously that didn't fully go as well as planned. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to go ahead and cut the broadcast rather early before the FCC decides to come chasing after us. So, I just want to say good night, have a pleasant tomorrow, and for everybody else out there in the world, stay out of trouble, and happy birthday, Jackie.